Farmers from India and Bangladesh clashed along the international border in West Bengal's Malda district, forcing the border guards from both the nations to fire stun grenades and tear gas to disperse the crowds that swelled to nearly 1,000 people on the each side. The confrontation, which happened at the Sukhdevpur, about 50 kilometers south of the Malda town, had erupted after the Indian farmers accused their Bangladeshi counterparts of crossing the border to steal the crops. The incident quickly escalated from an altercation to stone pelting between the residents of both the countries. The local Indian farmers have alleged that a pattern of cross-border incursions has been a norm. The crowds finally dispersed after the BGB managed to clear their side. The proposed fence construction, which triggered the current face-off, has been put on hold. The clash site was less than a kilometer from the Sabdalpur area, where tensions first erupted on January 5th and where BSF began constructing a border fence along a 1.2 kilometer stretch within 150 yards of the international border. That incident had seen hundreds of villagers from both the countries gathering with sharp weapons and lathis, though no violence was reported back then. Ajay Jandyal, now my colleague, is joining me for more. Ajay, after days, it has been reported that there were violence incident that were reported at the border between India and Bangladesh. Now, once again, the focus is there on after the farmers' clash. What is in that regard that you are picking up to share with our viewers in the latest?
In the past as well, these kind of incident was happening, and PSF they basically they were ensuring that the safety of the borders was. But after the government of Sheikh Hasina was toppled recently, and Yunus took over, this is what exactly has happened. That not only within the Bangladesh, but also on the borders, the people, those who lives over across the fence there in the Bangladesh, they also attempted to cross the border, and they are the criminal or notorious people, those who do such things, and that's why this incident has reported when some civilians, those who were working at the Indian side in their field, and people, those who were across the fence, they also attempted to cross the fence, and when they were stopped, the people, they started pelting stone over there, and BSF, those who were guarding the fence, they took their position over there, and the Bangladesh border guard people, those who were sitting across, and those who have to manage their area, they also cleared their area, and after that this situation was specified. But alert also has been sounded on the border, along the border with Bangladesh, because there are several inputs that the notorious people, those who are sitting there, they can try to disrupt the peace on the borders as well, and that's why alert has been sounded.
Well, all right, Ajay. Thank you for sharing these details. And now also joining me live on the broadcast is Major General A.K. Sewaj, who is a defense expert. Thank you, sir, for giving us your time. Appreciate you joining me live on the broadcast. In the view of these latest clash amid the farmers at the India-Bangladesh border, what remains to be the #1 priority that needs to be put in focus, as even the border guard fences and also the state governments are currently navigating a way to resolve the conflict that is there, particularly at the border, which remains to be a very sensitive region?
Very correct. Simran, see, what happened is that as far as India-Bangladesh border is concerned, it is about 4,000 kilometers. And majority of the places, though it has been fenced, but the fence is still porous, because there are riverine terrain where the fencing is very, very difficult. There were certain places where it was decided the fencing will be made by Indians 150 yards inside Indian territory between both the bordering guarding forces, where border security force and border guard Bangladesh. But after 5th August, the temperament and the attitude of BGB has changed tremendously. They are in fact initiating and instigating the civilians their side to come inside India. You know what has happened in last about 3-4 months. There are radical elements which are trying to come. There are smugglers which are trying to come. There are drug packers which are being trying to come. And the fact is that this Muhammad Yunus government has also released number of criminals from the jails, and they are also want to come, and the Rohingyas are the biggest threat. Now, considering that this is a big challenge as far as India is concerned, having commanded a battalion in Dhubri, Bogaigaon, Kokrajhar, and Abhepuri, I know exactly what is the modus operandi adopted by these criminals side of Bangladesh. The time when Sheikh Hasina was in hem of affair, border guard Bangladesh were not allowing them to come, and there was a peace and tranquility on border. Also, that the number of terrorist organization, extremists which were functioning in Chittagong Hill, they were uprooted and they have taken their bases in Myanmar. So the point is, earlier the government was very positive. Now the present government is negative. They are the one which are pushing these people, instigating their own civilians, and giving a very false sort of agenda now that they are helping out Indian border guarding force, which is they are not doing. Now the threat which is increasing is the Rohingyas, which are 10 lakhs, which are sitting in Cox's Bazar. They are the biggest threat to India because ISI is working with them and they are trying to push them toward the India. Now, what we need to do? See, the point is that we need to be much more now alert and alive. What has happened in between when they were Lok Sabha election, we also thinned out our forces on especially Bangladesh-India border because our relationship was good. Now we have to have a 3-tier defense there. One is that we should have this fencing, and though this fencing is not like the fencing which is done on Indo-Pakistan border, which is a multi-strand. Here there is a single strand. It really does not stop a person, but it's just a caution. But certainly you need to now revive your strategy to ensure that you are effective and alert on the border. And I'm sure the BSF is working on that. They have to have multi-tier defense on border. You cannot allow, I repeat, you cannot allow Bangladeshi criminals, radical elements, Rohingyas to infiltrate in India with the number of criminal activities. So the point today is that no denying the fact that this is a cause of concern as far as India is concerned. Another issue which is coming now is, since the relationship are not to the best, and there are certain elements which are like basically you can say Jamaat-e-Islami Bangladesh Mujahideen, which are not in control of Muhammad Yunus. He is just a face, but actual power is with Jamaat-e-Islami and Mujahideen Bangladesh and other student union. What is happening is that there are certain elements which are not happy with this present government. They also want to come in India. So as on today, it is the biggest challenge as far as BSF is concerned to ensure that our borders against Bangladesh is guarded well. I am sure that strategy has to be now revived and revised in a manner. There is a multi-tier defense which is there on this border, lest you find these militants as well as radical elements trying to come in India.
Well, all right. Thank you very much, sir. Major General A.K. Savaj, thank you very much for being with us and also decoding this and putting more light on this to be put in perspective. Thank you very much.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.